Ais Wallenstein is a first-class adventurer and an executive of the Loki Familia. Among the small fraction of first-class adventurers, she is considered one of the strongest. She is the reincarnation of the former queen of Lacrios, Ariadne Lacrios. Ais is considered a very beautiful woman with long golden blonde hair, gold eyes, and a slender body. She usually wears the white and black battle cloth, black arm covers, and long blue boots. She wears her armor over this consisting of a head guard, breastplate, arm guards, hip guards, and knee guards. When not heading to the dungeon, Ais usually wears a white one-piece dress with gold lining. Ais is a mostly quiet person who has trouble expressing her feelings through words. Because of this, she is thought to be mysterious. However, she is mentally young, even visualizing a younger version of herself in certain situations, such as when she gave Cranel a pillow. Unlike her fellow Loki Familia member Bet, Ais doesn't look down on the weak despite being a first-class adventurer. She is also believed to be an airhead, namely due to her quiet nature. She is very strong-willed, doing everything to reach her goal to become even stronger, even offering to train Bell just so she could try to determine the key to his quick growth. She also tends to react violently whenever someone does anything remotely perverted to her, such as Loki. Ais exhibits a strong interest in Bell, mainly because of his rabbit-like appearance. However, she helps him whenever she can, such as when she immediately moved to rescue him after hearing he was being attacked by a minotaur. During the time she trained Bell, Shana pointed out that she seemed happy, an emotion she had never seen her show before. She interacts with Bell very favorably, such as taking care of Bell on the 18th floor and accepting his request to dance at the ball held by Apollo, even though it was her first time. Ais is unable to swim, as when she was 7 years old, Orario punished Ais for calling her an old woman by tying adamantine to her and throwing her in water, calling it swimming training. This later became a traumatic experience for her, making her avoid water in general while in the dungeon, and if she has to bathe, she tries to stay in areas where her feet reach the bottom. Since she has dedicated her life solely to getting stronger, Ais doesn't understand many things and lacks common sense when it comes to certain topics. At the same time, this has made her quite gullible, a quality that Loki sometimes takes advantage of. She has believed various lies from her goddess, such as that mentioning the name of a technique makes it more powerful, as well as that the increasingly revealing clothes Loki gave her as she grew older were combat clothes. Ais' goal is to become strong enough to defeat the one-eyed black dragon and take back her mother. Because her goal is revenge-driven and for her own sake, she considers herself unable to become a hero. Her desire for revenge stems from her traumatic experience with the one-eyed black dragon when she was a child, which also caused her to develop a great hatred toward monsters. Such a feeling has resulted in Ais developing an intense obsession with exterminating monsters that borders on the irrational, as noted by many. Due to her deep resentment, when she was younger, Ais showed a serious expression and was extremely volatile. She tended to be aggressive with others and disrespect her superiors. She didn't care about her condition or her health at all and would fight relentlessly if she was left unsupervised. Ais was only concerned with physically strengthening herself and downplayed everything that had nothing to do with it, considering any other type of teaching useless. Her seemingly lifeless size and fragile appearance gave her the nickname Doll Princess. However, over time she began to change her beliefs. From Finn, she learned that physical prowess was important in mental strength and techniques in combat, motivating her to study under Riveria's tutelage and practice to polish her technique with him and Gareth. For his part, Gareth taught her that in addition to training, one should rest properly. Thanks to the support of the three leaders, Ais eventually managed to reduce her self-destructive tendencies. While Ais denotes a surprising improvement over her younger demeanor, this does not mean that she has abandoned said traits entirely. Mitigated and numbed thanks to the environment she grew up in and the bonds she forged, her hatred nonetheless remains as intense as in her childhood. She doesn't usually show it openly, but it can be glimpsed whenever the one-eyed black dragon is mentioned. Likewise, She often allows herself to be consumed by it when using her adventure skill, moments in which her judgment ends up clouded and she reverts to her previous self who only sought to exterminate monsters without worrying about anything more. Her hunger for power is also severely intensified as she feels that she has hit a limit or is handicapped by a lack of power. Back in her times as a level 1, despite the positive changes in her attitude, she began to show frustration once her stats growth slowed. Upon discovering that to level up she had to complete a feat, she launched herself to the 12th floor to face infant dragons despite how dangerous they were and aggressively exploded against Riveria for having hidden how to level up from her. After her duel with Revis, her feeling of helplessness from losing against the mysterious woman due to her lack of power, in combination with having reached her limit as a level 5, reached a critical point. Prompted by it, she made up her mind to face Ais, a monster who was not only a floor boss but whose level was also higher than hers. Even being in a severe state, she refused to receive assistance from Riveria, determined to defeat it to overcome her weakness. Her past is a sensitive subject for her and she is very secretive about it. Although she trusts her friends and fellow family members, she has refused to reveal anything related to it to them, having opened up exclusively to Loki and the top executives of the Loki Familia. Likewise, confronting Revis, who seemed to know about her past, and overwhelmingly losing to her, Ais was severely affected and refused to talk about it with anyone, not even Riveria. During the Xenos incident, Ais experienced specific changes regarding her thoughts about monsters. Initially, even after discovering that Xenos could feel just like people, she clung to her belief, refusing to accept that monsters should not be exterminated. However, after seeing Ween's actions to protect Belle and hearing her story, she was seriously affected and started to believe that the Xenos could truly deserve to live. Likewise, her resolve began to waver, unable to decide if monsters were truly evil that deserved to be destroyed. After her training with Otter, she concluded that there were monsters that could have emotions and a heart equal to that of a person, in the same way that there could be people who had the heart of a monster, and it would be she who would decide who was a monster and whom to use her power against. Ais entered the Loki Familia at the age of 7. As a new member, she acted as a supporter of other adventurers while training as hard as she could. She reached level 2 within a year, becoming the fastest person to reach level 2 until Belle broke that record. She then continued to maintain her rapid growth rate, leveling up to level 4 at a rate of 1 to 1.5 years at each level and reaching level 5 in 3 years. Ais has also fought against Fra and Jamil on 3 occasions, once when she was a new level 2, a second time when they encountered each other in the dungeon 2 years after their first meeting, and a third time when Ais reached level 5.